What is an agile team coach? It may surprise some people to learn that my opinion on what an agile team coach is perhaps different to what an agile coach is. Agile coaching, as was written about many years ago by Lisa Adkins, was very much angled towards team coaching. I think what we've seen over the last few years is that some of that team focus has gone. And if we look at some of the most popular certifications for agile coaching, but you'll notice it, for example, IC Agile don't have an agile team coaching certification or syllabus. They have an agile coaching syllabus. And their idea, I think, is that agile team coaching is really embedded within that agile coaching industry. I think it's hard to call agile coaching a role. I think you have to see agile coaching as an industry because there's many different ways of enacting it. So if I think historically, and from my research and from the learning I've done at Henley Business School around what is the current thoughts on professional team coaching, is that team coaching from an ICF perspective, for example, or from the people, the practitioners, the academics who are researching team coaching, are saying that team coaching is at a point now where professional individual coaching was 20 years ago. And what that means is that we are in a period of pre theory. There hasn't been many academic studies done into team coaching. So when you look at books such as Building Top Performing Teams by Paul Barber and Lucy Widdowson, which is one of the probably the best professional team coaching books out there, they will openly say that this is pre-theory. And a lot of their hypotheses and ideas is built upon academic research into family therapy, into group therapy, into facilitation that has happened over the last 20 or 30 years. So we're trying to draw from the past in that respect to decide how we're going to operate in the future. And that pre-theory will then begin to create new ideas and more research specifically around professional team coaching. So if I think about the agile world versus professional coaching, when the Agile Manifesto was written 20 odd years ago, at least as of recording, that's when professional coaching was really being defined. And now we find ourselves in a situation where the agile world has been built on self-managing, empowered teams, and we have had lots of people doing elements of team coaching, but we haven't put any real research or rigor into that. And so now I feel like we're at this intersection where professional team coaching is becoming a thing, and in the agile world we've got loads of anecdotal evidence. And so I think it's about time we maybe begin to overlap some of this, because there's too much conversation in the agile world on agile coaching around coaching the individual, around individual practices and techniques for helping those solo people go on that journey. When you look at the IC Agile team coaching track, the first thing it mentions is guiding individuals, not guiding teams. And I think that's wrong. I think if you're talking about being a team coach, your focus is on helping a team as an entity achieve high performance that is relevant in their context. Being an agile team coach or a team coach isn't about having people, let me retract that, isn't just about having people form really strong relationships, like each other, go out and play volleyball with each other, go out and have coffee together, have dinner together, go to barbecues. Sure, that may be part of it, but all of that is meaningless unless they are achieving high performance in their context. So, from a team coaching, an agile team coaching perspective, it's about understanding the context. Where does that team fit in? And when I say team here, I'm talking about any team. I'm talking about a leadership team. I'm talking about a team of managers, maybe a team of project managers, a software development team. Whatever team we are talking about, if they exist, then there is a good probability that if you're approaching them as an agile coach focused just on individuals, you're not going to get the best from that team. You are not going to be of best service to that team. We have to see these teams, whatever these teams are, as entities and support them on their own journey. So when I then think back and you look at what constitutes as agile coaching, and in my mind, instantly, I say agile coaching, I think of it as professional coaching, one on one coaching. That's the way that we've ended up. This is about helping individuals. This is about having individuals define the path that they want to go on. And as an agile coach, you've got a certain degree of latitude as to the different ways you can intervene, the different stances that you can decide to stand in to help those individuals achieve their individual goals. That can be really, really valuable. Absolutely. But it will have limiting value if the individual's self determined goals do not equate to team collective high performance. As an individual, like professional agile coach, someone that is just doing it on a one on one basis, if you're talking to somebody on a team, whatever team it is, and they are saying to you, I would like to achieve X. I want to do this. I want to achieve this. And then you know that you've individually coached someone else in the team who has a contradictory goal. Then what role do you play then? What options are you presented with? Do you go to the person who had the slightly different goal and say to them, "Oh, I've just been talking to Sanjeev. His goal is very, very different to yours. So, do you want to change your goal?" Do you get them both together in a room and explain that they've got two different goals and then say that this is my idea for a new goal for you? This is the issue that we have with agile coaching at just the individual level, is that you are a funnel for all this information. And then how do you behave? How do you act ethically? How do you act professionally in those situations to help that group as an entity come together as a team? So this is why agile coaching, professional agile coaching at the individual level is fundamentally flawed if you're trying to help a team reach high performance, because those conversations, those differences in individual goals, if you approach it in a rigorous way. I use the word rigor on purpose. This isn't just us figuring stuff out and flying on the wing. This is about us being rigorous with the way that we intervene, the way that we help teams reach high performance. Then we align first and foremost that team on their purpose. If they're already aligned on their purpose, we help them understand their values and their identity. If they're already aligned on those, then we help them to understand how do they want to transform themselves? How are they going to learn? How are they going to grow? What are their ways of working? How do they best operate together to achieve their collective objectives? How aware are they of each other and the broader systems that they work within? If we begin to focus our endeavors on helping teams along those lines of thinking to come up with their own plans with us guiding and supporting them, then the moment somebody at an individual level comes up with a goal which contradicts, sometimes it's simply just a case of pointing out that there's a contradiction to what they've agreed as a group. And then driving that person to reflect upon what they're saying in relation to what they've agreed as an entity. So what you might have picked up there is that individual coaching of the members of a team is an option if you are an agile team coach. If you then scratch the surface on that, what that means is to be an effective agile team coach, you have to have been an effective individual coach in order to make sure that you have the right skills and the right foundation to build your team coaching skills. If you've always done agile team coaching and you built your skills that way, brilliant. I congratulate you. You've done a fantastic job. Get in touch. I would love to learn more. Right? I'm always up for learning these things. But if you look at where the ICF is going, when it talks about professional team coaching, they're being quite definite that you have to have been a competent and experienced individual coach in order then to make that transition to be a really effective team coach. And I would say the same as said for agile coaching. For to be an effective agile coach, in my opinion, you have to have been an agile practitioner. You have to have been at the coalface in a team doing some of the real work in order for you to quickly gain the type of respect you need to be effective. In 90% of situations, I would stick by that. Having been an agile practitioner, then you perhaps decide you would like to change the way that you are going in your career. and you decide to pick up some individual coaching skills, let's say, and you practice those individual coaching skills. You begin to work with individuals and you're working with those people in a team environment. Perhaps you've got a good role model. Perhaps you've got a good mentor who's guiding you on that process. Fantastic. And you begin to exercise those skills and build it up. As an agile coach or a scrum master, I don't think there's really any difference anymore. And I don't think there should be any difference anymore before you begin to work up to a agile team coach. And actually, as I mentioned, Scrum Master, when the panacea of me for an agile team coach is the equivalent to the panacea for me for being a really effective Scrum Master. It isn't about the individuals. It isn't about just that team you're working with. It's about that broader systemic understanding and helping the system shift its orientation and helping the people in that system change their behaviors to support that new orientation. So if I was to sum up in a nutshell, really what an agile team coach is, I would say that really an effective agile team coach is no different than an effective scrum master. I would say that an agile team coach has to have a broader systemic understanding, has to understand the team as a system, has to understand the interactions between teams within that system, for that as another system, and has to understand the broader organizational system to understand the performance drivers and goals. But bigger than that, sometimes has to understand the wider system at large. If you want one tip to be an effective agile team coach, understand your systems and understand the context, because only then will you be able to help a team really reach true levels of high performance as an agile coach in whichever stance you choose to stand in.